Kenyans are set to see a 12% minimum wage increase from this month. In fact, President Uhuru Kenyatta made that announcement during a Labor Day rally over the weekend. This increase will take the minimum monthly wage from about 13,500 Kenyan shillings, which is approximately 1,800 rand, to 15,120 shillings, which translates to about 2,000 rand. So joining us now for more on what the implications are, let's bring in a legal expert, Advocate Areba Omwoyo Samba, who's with us via our video link. And it's great to have you on the program, sir. Thank you so much indeed for making time. It's really difficult not to see this in the context of Kenya heading to the polls this August. How much of this has to do with politics more than the inflation woes that many Kenyans are facing?
For the last 3 years, we had a freeze in terms of the minimum wage increment. And considering the economic situation in Kenya, I think it would not have come at any better time. You know, sometimes the ruling class have to portray it that everything is all right. And this was the perfect opportunity for the president in Kenya, who is part of the ruling class, to try and show the workers in Kenya that he's trying to caution them from the harsh living conditions and the harsh economic conditions that we are currently experiencing. But one thing I can tell you is that this is just a drop in the ocean.
Yeah, please go on, because that was certainly going to be my next question. I mean, some experts have spoken about there needing to be a 24% increase for there to be some kind of material change on the ground, so to speak. This is only 12%, half of that. How far can it really go?
I mean, if you come into Kenya right now, of course, just like another country in Africa and in the world, we are still healing from the effects of the COVID pandemic. And the cost of living is quite very high. And when the President, His Excellency the President, did indicate that he has increased the minimum wage by 12%, which takes effect immediately, vis-a-vis the cost of living currently, I can tell you for sure that this is just a drop in the ocean. From my own assessment, if this is to make sense, then we need to have a minimum wage increment of at least 30% for it to break even. But now we are getting 12%, which really doesn't make sense in the current economic situation. Let me tell you right now, the economic situation in Kenya, it's unbearable. The cost of living is unbearable. The cost of fuel, I mean, you have seen for the last couple of days, we have long queues for people to try and get fuel. But the fuel cost itself is very high. The cost of cooking oil, the cost of the basic commodities. And that is why I'm saying that whatever the president did was just a drop in the ocean. It's just to put it on the face of the Kenyans that, hey, for the last 3 years, we did have a freeze in terms of increasing the minimum wage. But now we have opened it up. But really, the unfreezing it and doing the 12% vis-a-vis the inflation rate is just a drop in the ocean. It's more like a slap in the face. For me, it doesn't make sense, that increment.
There are so many economic issues plaguing Kenya, which you've so aptly outlined. But in the backdrop, we've also got Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy, William Ruto, being involved in some kind of awkward spat, for lack of a better term, in public. How does that, affect the government's ability to respond to these issues?
I mean, for the last 2 years, I am made to understand that the cabinet has not met. Wow. And this points to a lack of leadership from the leadership of the country. I mean, of course, we have issues between the president and the deputy president. Each has chosen a different path. As we speak today, the president did a handshake with the opposition leader, and now he always refers to him as his brother, and his brother, in quotes, has been helping him move the country forward. And on the other side, the deputy president has already made his clear mind that he's running for the presidency, and he does not need endorsement from the president. Now, that is the political aspect. Now, the economic aspect is that the president has not met the cabinet for 2 years. I don't know then how very critical issues which affect Kenyans, which affect the country, are supposed to be solved. And now the public spite, it was long overdue. I mean, there have been jibes by the two leaders, I mean, from the president and from the deputy president, but it has never gotten to this level. And, I mean, we are getting to the political season, and I can tell you that it's interesting time to watch, where the deputy president has made it clear that the current government has not done enough to help Kenyans. And the president, on the other hand, is saying, hey, you're part of the government, why don't you resign? And the deputy president has told him back, hey, back in 2019, you issued an executive order, which then transferred some of my responsibilities to one of your cabinet secretaries. So, I mean, the exchange is on, and we can only grab popcorns.
Sure, yeah, that's one way of responding to it. Thanks for your time. We'll have to leave it there for now. Interesting times in Kenya. Thanks.